Well, I'd like to officially welcome you to the 2018 Women's Hall of Fame celebration. These have become very momentous and important occasions in San Mateo County's history. And today, as a change of format, we spent a couple hundred or so women spent the day here at the first annual Women's Leadership Conference leading into the Hall of Fame celebration. And I think the buzz in this room is about the exciting things that happened this morning, the excellent speakers, the workshops, the panels. With if you weren't there, maybe in another year or so, when another one occurs, you'll remember that you heard it was a worthwhile experience to be at. So we're happy to see all of you. There's a lot of dignitaries in the room tonight, as is fitting to celebrate the three women who are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I'm going to try to go down the list just as quickly as I can, so you'll have a sense of who's here. From the City of Half Moon Bay, Deborah Ruddick and Deborah Penrose. Catherine Slater-Carter from the Montero Water and Sanitary District. Julia Mates from the Belmont City Council. Davina Hurt from the Belmont City Council. Charles Stone from the Belmont City Council. Carol Matsumoto from South San Francisco City Council. Virginia Chang Corrali from the Harbor District, as well as the Menlo Park Fire Protection District. Shara Watkins from the San Mateo Foster City School District. Jeff G. from the City of Redwood City. Hector Camacho from the San Mateo County Board of Education. Shelley Mazer from the City of Redwood City. And welcome, all of you. And thank you very much for being here to celebrate this evening's Women's Hall of Fame. My colleagues are here: David Canepa, David Pine, Don Horsley. There he is over there. Okay. And our former colleague and really dear friend, Rose Jacobs Gibson, is with us this evening. And so with that, let me introduce the president of the Status on the Commission of Women, Linda Kelling.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you very much. This is overwhelming to see so many people. It's 4:15 on Saturday afternoon. I don't think there are any college basketball games on today, are there? I hope you taped them. This has been a really extraordinary day, and I owe it all to my colleagues on the Commission on the Status of Women and to the support from the Board of Supervisors, from Carol Groom, who is our liaison. This has been a spectacular day, and it's not going to happen in another year, Carol, because this took a long time to put together. Okay, a year or so. All right, that's fine. But the Women's Leadership Conference, I think, has been extremely successful, and I think it has given each and every one of you an opportunity today. And clap if you think that's correct. Okay. Anyway, it is becoming to end a day like today with honoring three extraordinary women in this county. On behalf of the Commission on the Status of Women, I want to thank you for being here today and supporting these new inductees. The Women's Hall of Fame was the first of its kind in the state of California. I don't know if everyone knows that. It was created by the Board of Supervisors in 1984, along with the Commission on the Status of Women, to pay tribute to dedicated women who enrich our county and to highlight their significant contributions. Since then, over 250 women have been honored for their contributions, leadership, and generous work as volunteers. Now, in 1992, a second category to this prestigious award, Young Women of Excellence, was added to the Hall of Fame in order to give visibility and to empower young women for their accomplishments in community service, their academic achievement, and acts of courage. Recently, it was determined to create a digital display of the Women's Hall of Fame and take it on the road, if you will. It has always been housed in the Redwood City History Museum. In fact, I had the opportunity to participate in that back in 2014 when we had Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, and that was fabulous. And she was sitting in another room with some of the commissioners, and I happened to be in the courtroom, and someone said, "Could you test out the audio?" I said, "Sure." So I get up there on the bench, and I sit there, and I'm looking out like this, and I said, "Well, good afternoon. As you can see, I am not Sandra Day O'Connor." Now, yes, there was a little bit of laughter, but there was also laughter from downstairs and all the other rooms in the building. I did not know that this was being broadcast. Thank God she was in another room where she didn't hear this. But it was a little embarrassing, but kind of fun. As I said, this display is being taken around, and it has a listing of wonderful women throughout this county who have made their contributions. At the end of last year, as I said, we took this on the road. It started out in the city of Belmont, and it stayed there for about 90 days. It is now in the city of Foster City, and as I said at the opening at the Foster City event, I didn't realize Foster City is a pretty young community in the county of San Mateo, yet we had 7 women from the city of Foster City who made it to the Hall of Fame, or who were inducted into the Hall of Fame over the years. I want to congratulate Naomi Patridge, Kalimah, and Erin Tormey for being inducted today. I had a chance to meet all 3 of them, and they are just fabulous women. I've known Naomi for several years because we both served on our respective city councils at the same time. So we had a chance to work together on a few different committees. So I'm extremely grateful to have her here today because all 3 of these women deserve this prestigious honor. It is an honor and a privilege of the Commission on the Status of Women to recognize the contributions of these women. The Women's Hall of Fame is a reminder to all of us of the wealth and depth of talent and generosity that women bring to our communities every day of the year. I hope you'll take some time to visit your libraries when the exhibit gets closer to you. It's really, it's an awesome experience. In closing, I'd like to extend my deepest appreciation to Supervisor Carol Groom for her active support of the Commission and for the Women's Hall of Fame exhibit, and to the entire Board of Supervisors. Thank you, and thank you for being here today. And again, congratulations to our inductees. Thank you. Carol.
Thank you, Linda. Linda does a very good work at the Commission on the Status of Women, as do every member. They, like all of the county commissions, they are always seem to be at work and always coming to the Board of Supervisors with brand new ideas, many of which we put into place. So thank you, Linda, and thank you to the rest of the women commissioners. I just found out that Noelia Corzo from the San Mateo Foster City School Board is here as well. Thank you for joining us. That's great. Before we get to the awardees, I would like to tell you about how this selection is determined. We have a group of judges from outside the county. This year they are from the county of Santa Clara. One of them is with us, Leslie Bulbuck. Please stand and let's say thank you to you. The other judges are Supervisor Cindy Chavez, Shao Bayard from the Environmental Bicycle Foundation, and Gracie Sura Milanio. So they did all of the hard work. Lots of nominations, lots of hard work, reading, making up their minds with whom should be selected. So with that, we are going to get to the awards. And the first presenter will be Supervisor Don Horsley.
Thank you, Carol. As Linda was up here, I just was thinking about something that when I was the sheriff, I wanted, we have a women's jail, and it was really a dilapidated facility, and it needed to have some new facilities, essentially because so many of our women have children. And I remember that one of the things I did is I had the Commission on the Status of Women come and visit the jail to say how appalling it was. And they, in fact, pushed the county to actually build a really state-of-the-art jail facility. Now, it's kind of hard to say that's a wonderful thing, but the fact of the matter is that so many, young people, sometimes they make bad decisions and they end up in jail. And so many, I found that when I was a sheriff, I found that something in the neighborhood of about 80% of the women had children. They were usually infants. They were between 0 and 5. And in any case, because of this new jail, and because I hopefully have been talking to our new sheriff, that I want to see those infants and toddlers to have more quality time, basically almost like a daycare, because you've got to build empathy with those children if they're going to be successful. And I see one of our former captains, Lisa Williams back there nodding her head. She ran that jail for a period of time, actually did a great job. We had a program that we had animals and chickens, and they had domesticated or dogs that were trained, and tails they called the program. It's a great program. In any case, the other thing is I want to point out that because 3 of the women are from the coast side, I never wear this shirt unless it's Pumpkin Festival or Farm Day. And I thought it was really appropriate today. So, in any case, though, I have the great pleasure, and I've known Erin for a long time. She actually, one of the farmers markets, she had me ring the bell a couple of times in Pacifica, and that was a big honor for me to get this, it's like a bell, just bang, and then then it starts in Pacifica. In any case, just telling you a little bit about Erin. She was born in Pescadero, and her family then moved to San Mateo. She went to Aragon High School. I went to Westmore. And she comes from a long line of both farmers and educators, and I think that's kind of indicates something about what's really in her DNA. In any case, she founded the Half Moon Bay Coastside Farmers Market in Half Moon Bay in 2002. She really has a passion for healthy and sustainable and socially equitable food systems. She sought programs that support lower-income residents, such as the seniors, and WIC, which is the Women, Infant, and Children's Farmers Market Nutritional Program, and Cal Fresh, and she actually brings them to her market to make sure that they are able to use those Cal Fresh, whatever they are. They used to be food stamps or something. There's something different than that now. She was a pilot partner in Market Match, which is now a statewide program that doubles participants' produce purchasing power, and created Local Match, a unique program offered to residents who do not qualify for any form of supplemental nutrition programs. I think one of the things that she is most proud of, and she should be, she's a founder of the HEAL Project. It's a coastside-grown curriculum rooted in agriculture that is delivered to all students in the 2nd and 3rd grade on the coastside. It is designed to teach students where their food comes from and why that matters, and it provides access to more than 2,500 students throughout San Mateo County on this 2.5-acre school farm that they established in Moss Beach. And I understand they had a fundraiser the other night and were spectacularly successful, and I'm sure it's because of Erin and her just outstanding and charismatic leadership. She's also a founding member of San Mateo County's Food System Alliance and was appointed to the CDFA's, which stands for the California Department of Food and Agriculture, Specialty Crop Block Grant Review Committee for a 5-year term. And last year, 2007, she was named San Mateo County Farmer of the Year. So she's always been an advocate about food equity, especially for marginalized communities. And I just want to congratulate her for the honor today. Erin? Congratulations, dear. Give me the microphone. Then they get okay, you get to speak.
Okay. I am. Okay. Okay. Can I just put that there? All right. Well, so this is a surprise because I didn't think I had to go first. And hi. And I left the ranch under it rained a lot the last few days, so I had some issues with water and pumps and whatnot, and left my lovely speech behind. But it is a privilege and a real honor to be here, to particularly with you, and Kalimah, because I have this. Well, I had this whole speech all prepared. Now I have no idea what I was going to say, but I am going to say that I feel incredibly grateful and very privileged to be able to do the work that I do where I do it. I have a thing on the wall in my office. It's Nakoshi Johnson once said, "You do all you can with what you have and the time you have and the place you are." And the place where we are is pretty extraordinary. And I had the benefit of growing up here, but also the benefit of leaving this community for a good long time and working hand in glove with a fellow who had a very different experience and a very different worldview than I grew up with, and really opened my field of vision, and really, truly, particularly lately, has me understanding the profound privilege that it is to be born healthy, to be born, well, let's face it, I kind of have the 5 out of 6, you know. I've never faced the kind of hostility or bias that Naomi and her family did. I've never faced that kind of just prejudice and flat out the hurdles and the challenges that are presented to people of color, particularly women of color. I don't know what that is, but I know what the effects of it are on a community, and you can't just know that and walk off from it when you're born white, straight, healthy, with, you know, a family that's intact and a community that's engaged. So I'm really proud, Naomi and Kalimah, to be here with you guys today. And thank you, everybody, because this is pretty great. Okay. I don't know what I'm coming over. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you.
Each awardee is also receiving certificates of recognition from our congresswomen, from the members of the Sacramento delegation that represent our county, and from the County Board of Supervisors. So there's lots of things to take home. The mayor of Daly City has just arrived, and Jocelyn, thank you for joining us tonight. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Supervisor David Canepa.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm delighted. You know, I really want to take the opportunity to thank Carol Groom. Carol has put a round of applause for Carol. She probably gets a little mad because I'm a little loud in my office. But no, Carol has just really been an exceptional leader. She doesn't do it for the fame. She doesn't do it for the glory. but she does it because it's right. So, Carol, thank you for all you do. I have the distinct honor and pleasure of probably inducting someone who's done more for children in San Mateo County, in North San Mateo County in particular, than anyone else, and that's Kalimah. When you think about personal stories and you hear the word resilience and what people are able to do to overcome things and to strengthen their community, Kalimah's done all that. I knew Kalimah. I hate to say this, I like winners. And so Kalimah built her reputation because she kept on winning parcel taxes. So, and in Pacifica, and my sister was in Pacifica, I have a lot of friends in Pacifica, they're like, you really got to meet Kalimah. So she won a parcel tax for the kids. I don't think they had won a parcel tax there and for years for the schools. She did it once, she did it twice, she did it 3 times. But it was for her commitment, and her commitment to the community, her commitment to make sure that people get the education they deserve. And so for me, Kalimah means a lot. And she means a lot to me because it's all about the work. It's all about what are we doing to make things better? What are we doing to make our community stronger? And I think she's a role model for us. I think she's a role model for our children. Can our children please stand up? I will tell you this, she's active on Facebook. I mean, I thought I get around. She's on, one minute she's on Zap the Gap. The next minute she's talking about the Black Panther, the movie. The next minute she's, leading the march in San Francisco with North San Mateo County kids. But if there's anyone who deserves such an award, it's Kalimah. Kalimah, you really make North San Mateo County, the county of San Mateo, look good. We're proud of you. Thank you for all you do, and congratulations on this huge honor.
Okay, so whenever I hear descriptions of myself, I'm like, who is that lady? She sounds awesome. And my kids are wondering, like, who are they talking about? First, I want to thank the status of Commissioner of Women in San Mateo County for this honor, and I also am very humbled to be honored with the 2 ladies that I'm inducted with. When I heard their stories, I was really moved, so congratulations to both of you. In my family, one of our mottos that we live by is our definition of love, and for me, love means when your happiness is someone else's happiness. That is the true definition of love. And there have been times in my life when our family has struggled, and especially when that path of struggle I felt was due to my mistake, that I felt like I was unworthy of love. And that was always the time when someone stepped up and said, I see you, and I see that you're worthy, and I'm going to show you the love that you deserve at this time so you can make it through. And so that is why I do everything that I do in my life, because I know the power of that type of love and care. When somebody says that I see you and that you're worthy. And I understand that that gift is not something that I'm supposed to keep, that I'm supposed to use it for as long as I need it, and then pass it on to the next person so that they can see who they are and understand how worthy they are. And I'm trying not to look at my kids so I don't get So when I am living in San Mateo County, and the things that I have decided to devote my time to are the things that I think are essential to life and happiness, as housing and education. And we live in one of the richest places in the world. And we have more poor kids here than we should. And we have more people struggling every day than we should. And more people feeling like they are unworthy of love because they cannot attain housing for their family, because they don't have access to quality education. And it should not be this way in a county that has this much access to resources and wealth. We should be doing better for our children. We should be doing better for our people who work so hard every single day. And so that's why I give my time to Habitat for Humanity, which I volunteered for 10 years. They are an excellent organization. And every day with community, love builds community, love supports families. They come out with volunteers and build housing for a family. And for me, it's the community building the housing does more for the family than the house. That's why I support education, because we have teachers who make some of the lowest pay in the state. That we have a teacher that goes to school, gets their degree, and we come and we pay them $44,000, $45,000 a year starting. No district in San Mateo County pays their teachers enough to live in this area. Not one. Even in some of the richest areas, teachers don't make enough to live. So that's why I dedicate my time to support those teachers who support those children who show their students every single day how much they are worth. I stand here today because of some fabulous teachers and some fabulous counselors. And I wonder if I was going through the educational system now, would I have survived? Would I have ended up in that women's prison we were talking about earlier? Because that counselor was not there to show me that I had a path, that there was things that I was meant to do, that I pushed through. And I think back on my counselors and teachers and every single person who helped me, regardless of being a single mother, regardless of being African American, because I want to show people that the gift, I understand the value of that gift, and I'm going to work hard every single day to make sure that I touch as many people as I can so they know the same joy that I've known. I just want to take time. My mom is here, and she flew in from Arizona. And she was a single mom, and she raised me and my 4 sisters all by herself. And I have one sister that's a professor in City College, and I have another sister who was a teacher at Skyline, and I have another sister who's a teacher in Oakland, and then there's Sophia. We always, we're all working on Sophia. But my mom raised us all to understand the power of education, and that's why we are all involved in it. And I want to thank my mom for everything she's done for me and why I'm standing here tonight. I also want to thank everybody that came out to support me today, and especially my board sister, Rosie Tejada, who nominated me and who's on the board of Jefferson Union High School District with me. And last but not least, I really want to thank my awesome adults. They're not my kids anymore, they're my adults. And my daughter, Ananda, is the most compassionate person you'll ever meet in your life. And she is the compassion in our family, and she shows me every day how powerful kindness is. And my daughter, Amira, who's the driving force in our family. You think I work hard, you should follow her on what do you want all the time? Snapchat. You should follow her on Snapchat. She is, people say that we're just alike, and I'm like, but I'm 40, and she is 19. And so she is just a driving force in our family, and she keeps us all moving. And I want to thank my son, Kareem, who was diagnosed with autism when he was 5, and we say we're autistic and proud. And every day he shows tremendous courage and goes out in the world and shows people what true strength is. So I'm so thankful to my children. And if you are half as proud of me as I am of you, I think I'm doing okay. So thank you. Okay, hold on.
Supervisor Horsley, you're on.
For the Kalimah's kids, I was on the end of a phone call a number of times donating to your schools. So she is quite a force. Well, it is my honor to introduce Naomi Patridge. She obviously, for all of us in, I guess, in political positions, she's really a well-known figure on the coast side. She is the first Asian American elected to public office in San Mateo County. Served a record 7 times as mayor for Half Moon Bay, as well as, well, actually, she's on the city council for 25 years. As a child, she and her family lost their family farm when they were interned during World War II, first in San Bruno. And San Bruno was Tanforan. And one of the things I did when I was the sheriff, I used to kind of a history buff when I would look at some of our old records. And Tanforan, it was a racetrack. And when they interned Japanese Americans, it was called the concentration camp. There was no euphemism for them. It was a concentration camp. And people, they were living in essentially horse stalls at the time. So in any case, her family was then transferred to Topaz, Utah. And after the war, they came back to the coast side to rebuild their life. And Naomi went to high school there. She married her high school sweetheart, Howard, who's passed away, and I'm sure he's with us in spirit with all of us as well as Naomi. In that case, her first experience in government really came serving on the Park and Recreation Board for Half Moon Bay in 1973. She established a girls' softball program, and that's really endured for about 47 years. And I think there must be every young woman on the coast side must have been on one of her teams. She coached teams to 13 championships, 1 Central Coast Section championship, and she really mentored a vast number of young women. And I know when I was, at times, when somebody wanted to talk to me and they would talk to her first to call me, to set up a meeting. In any case, she also served on a variety of countywide commissions. Carol Matsumoto was kind of her partner in a number of these things, and she was really successful, more so than any city council people I've ever seen in a small city, because Half Moon Bay really is a small city. She was successful in attracting state funds for many significant road projects and trail improvements. And one of the things that I'm not exactly sure what I know you were part of the Pumpkin Festival and did that for many, many years. And there's one of the things that there's a thing called Smith Field, and it was kind of a remarkable thing that it was a property exchange between the city. The city had some property that was supposed to be a park, but really wasn't a park. And there was, I guess Post owned this property, or somebody owned it. It was Smith Field. And then we have this area that is we, the county, has an area that had housing. It was sort of a substandard. In any case, what we did is we doubled the amount of senior housing, built a senior center, and we got permanently Smith Field. It was really a remarkable thing to have 3 different agencies make this big land swap, and Naomi was really at the center of all that, and it really is a fabulous facility, as well as Marina Fraser. You could name your friend later, but in any case, she actually has a trail that is named after her. So the Naomi Patridge Trail. And I have to tell you that we in the county are going to extend that always to Montero at some point, and it's always going to be the Naomi Patridge Trail. That's going to be a bike and ped thing to allow people to move from one end of that coastside without getting on the freeway or highway during those Pumpkin Festival weekends. So with that, Naomi Patridge.
I was just thinking to myself, sitting there, thinking, oh my God, I have to follow Kalimah. She should have been the ending of this program, not me. Kalimah, I'm so proud of you. You've done so many wonderful things for the community, so congratulations, and Erin also. So thank you, Don, for the introduction. I, along with Erin, prepared my speech, except Erin, I didn't forget mine. I did bring it, and I told Tanya, I have to confess to you, I really don't like talking about myself, and I need a piece of paper to keep me on track because I tend to ramble about what I'm going to say. So this morning it started out really kind of like scary for me because I got up and it's raining. I'm thinking, oh crap, I've got to cancel all the softball games. So then I had to get on the phone, call all the teams and the umpires and say, sorry, the stupid men that fixed the field did not make the field so the water would drain away from home plate, right? It's drained to home plate, so home plate's flooded, so we can't play. So now I have to get some new dirt and have it all shifted so we can play. And then I get in my car, and I decide I'm going to go to Pete's, and I'm going to get some coffee. So I back out of my car, and I'm going, okay. And I get out of the driveway, and I get on, I'm going to hear clunk, clunk, clunk. I'm going, oh, crap, I got a flat tire. So I get out, and I look, and I says, oh, shit, it is a flat tire. So then I get back in the driveway, and I said, oh, my God, I got to call AAA. But before I do that, I needed to let my sisters know that somebody's got to go pick up my daughter, Diana. And I said, no, I better call AAA first. So I called AAA, and the guy comes, and I said, you know, thank you for getting here so soon. And his name is John, and he works for Action Tow. And I noticed that he has on a volunteer fireman's shirt, you know, and stuff. I go, oh, that's so nice of you to come so soon. They said, you would be here for 40 minutes. He says, oh, no, I knew your name, so I came right away. I says, oh, thank you. I said, I noticed you're on the volunteer fireman. I said, were you coming to my house when I had to call you when my husband was falling out of bed when he was sick? And he goes, yeah, I came a couple times. That's how I knew your name. I said, oh, thank you. Thank you so much because I says, I have to get to Redwood City because I'm being honored and I can't go because I have this flat tire. And he says, well, and I said, you know, I took my car to Phil's to get the tire fixed. He says, no, I don't think it's that. I said, there was an accident on Highway 92 where this guy with a truck spilt all these nails all over the highway. And I said, yeah, right. I go over to Getz Brothers yesterday and I pick up a nail. And it's a big nail. It's with those bolts. And he says, oh, I don't know if I can fix it for you. I says, well, can you put some air in the tire and at least I can get here? So he said, well, I can't guarantee that. He says, let me look at your spare. He says, oh, for sure, you can't use that spare. It's a ball. It's one of those balloon ones. You know what those balloon ones are? Well, in the rain, he says, you'll be swerving all over. I go, oh, no, I don't want that. So he says, I'll try and fix it. So he kind of patched it, pushed the nail in further, and we added air, and it wasn't leaking. I said, oh, okay, that's fine. We're going to go with that. I'll just take the tire in later. So I said, okay. So then I said, coming over, I said, God, I don't know really what to talk about. I said, I could read my speech. And then I hear Kalimah, and I'm going, oh, hell, do I want to read my speech? So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to wing it up here. So I decide I'm going to tell you a few stories. And they're going to be good. Don't worry. And a lot of them is, you know, one of them is about my husband, Howard. We were married for 56 years. We dated for 4. So I was together with this guy for 60 years. And let me tell you, ladies, you never know a man until you marry them, right? Well, I never knew that he was such a spoiled brat. And what made it worse was I spoiled him more. And it was kind of like really funny because his Aunt Bertha said, Naomi, don't spoil him. I says, oh, but Aunt Bertha, poor guy, you know, his mom and dad separated and he was raised by grandpa and grandma and stuff. He says, no, don't do it, you'll be sorry. And I says, oh, no, that's okay. So as I got and become more involved, because I was a very good Japanese wife, I waited on him all the time. I cooked all his dinners, and my sister Ruth would really get angry at me. She says, what's the matter with you? I says, well, that's my duty. She goes, no, it's not. She's more Americanized than I am. But anyway, so I would cook him dinner all the time. But once I got more involved, it became really hard that I couldn't always be there to cook dinner for him. So one time I was at a CSEA meeting, which is a school meeting of employees, and I told all my friends and stuff, listen, when it gets close to 6 o'clock, I have to leave. So we have to get our business done because I have to feed Howard dinner. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I got to do it. And everybody said, oh, yeah, okay. So I was at this meeting, and I was president of CSEA, and we were in negotiations, and I had a lot of younger people that were in the school district, and I was one of the wiser women instead of these young men that all they wanted was money instead of benefits. So I was trying to talk them into, let's get more benefits. Oh, no, Naomi, we want money. So lo and behold, I'm arguing, and at 6:15, guess who walks through the door? Howard, announcing it's dinner time. So I quickly adjourned the meeting. I gathered up my things. And I said, we'll continue this meeting later. Well, the next morning, Howard was quite the topic of conversation at Johnny's coffee shop because they all said, it's really true. Naomi does go home and cook Howard dinner because he showed up at our meeting. And I kept telling people it's true. I did. I really did do all those stupid things. But that was life. And so one time I was at a softball game, and I was up to bat, and he goes, Naomi, it's lunchtime. I go, oh, okay, but I have to finish my time at bat, Howard. And so I left. So everything was around my husband. And so everybody knew in town Howard was the boss. And I've had people come and ask me, why, how did you manage all that when you were on city council? I go, oh no, that changed. We made amendments to the agreement. I made the change that if I knew I was not going to be home, he would go out to dinner. But as long as I told him and left him a note, he would do that. And so I was really thankful that my niece Marilyn and Bev Ashcraft and other people would go out to dinner with him to keep him happy. And so it all worked out. And so the funny part of it is when Howard knew he could get to you, he would make up all kinds of stories. He would answer the phones at home. In fact, he scared Carol Matsumoto half to heck when he called and he says, there's no lady like that here. And so then all my young softball players would call and say, where's Naomi? Oh, we're divorced. So he would do all those kind of funny things. But I have to tell you a funny story that happened to me last year, 2 years I guess it was, because I had a major brain tumor surgery in 2015, and I have really bad equilibrium sometimes when it rains, the atmospheric pressure does that to you. And so I thought I was a little wacky, but then Marina's mom, who also has the same kind of thing, so I knew I wasn't crazy. I wasn't going crazy, but it really affects me. That's why I was really nervous when it rained today. I thought, oh my God, I hope I don't have to walk up to the podium when it's raining and stuff, because I don't want people to think I'm drunk. Because I do. I walk, to the left and stuff. So I was at a game, and I coached 8Us at the later part of my life because I found that the little ones were more fun to coach. They were eager to learn and stuff. So we're in Millbrae in San Bruno Park, and we're going to play this game, and all of a sudden I feel like, oh, I'm a little lightheaded and stuff. I'm going, it's going to rain, but it's really sunny. So I told the girls, hurry up. You got to hustle in and out because it's going to rain. And they all looked at me like, you're crazy, Naomi. It's not going to rain. I said, okay, but you still need to hustle in and out. Well, the fourth inning, it did rain. So they all walked up to the dugout and they go, oh, Naomi, you're a witch. You can tell what the weather's like. And I said, I told you. So I've really enjoyed my life as far as the kids. I did develop that program back in 1970, and it was because kids came and asked me to do that program. It wasn't because I really wanted to, but people asked me to do that. And I want to say that I was really grateful that I was able to serve on the city council. And I really served with a lot of wonderful people and a lot of staff. And I truly enjoyed working with the other San Mateo County city mayors and council members. And it was both challenging but also really rewarding. And that was one of the reasons why Half Moon Bay has the trails and all the improvements it had, because on the TA, I served with Carol Matsumoto and stuff, that we were able to get $2 million worth of money for our trail in Half Moon Bay. And then we were able to get the improvements going up Highway 92 when we had the barriers put in the sidewalk, on the walls and all that. Okay, Ruth's telling me to stop cutting it out. Okay, so, but yeah, so there was a lot of projects that, you know, that really happened that I really enjoyed, but okay, I'll shut it off, Ruth. She's giving me the cut sign. My sister, who's younger than me. Can you believe that? I'm going to embarrass her while I'm up here, right? But she says she doesn't get embarrassed. That's true. But I really want to thank all of you for being here. And I was truly honored. When Bev called me and said I'd read my emails, I go, no, it's too early to read emails. So she says, well, congratulations, you were selected to the Hall of Fame. I go, what Hall of Fame? And so I was really shocked. That was probably a really emotional time that I had. I had a hard time accepting that I had received that honor. Probably because it was the first one I had gotten after my husband had passed away. So it was like, oh, I have nobody to talk about. Okay, Ruth, stop it. So I just want to thank everybody and congratulations to everybody here. And I just want to leave you with one last thought, and this is how I live my life. Live your life to the fullest. Do not stress about what you can't control or worry about. Thank you so much.
Naomi.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We've had 3 terrific honorees. And there's more food, there's more beer, there's more wine. Stay and enjoy yourself. And on behalf of San Mateo County and behalf of the status of the Commission of Women, again, we want to congratulate our 3 honorees, and we want to thank all of you for being here today. This is, every time we celebrate the Hall of Fame, it's one more momentous occasion for this county. And I think you'll all agree with me that there is no better county than San Mateo County. So thanks for being here, and stick around. I was going to see if we could get Dave.
So yeah.